Australian Labor Party is dealt sharp blow in vote, ending 6 years in power. mytimes.com. Subscribe, digital, home delivery. Log in. Register now. Help. Homepage. Today's paper. Video. Most popular. Edition, US. Global. Search allmytimes.com. Asia Pacific. World. Africa, Americas, Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East. US. New York. Region. Business. Technology. Science. Health. Sports. Opinion. Arts. Style. Travel. Jobs. Real estate. Autos. Australian Labor Party is dealt sharp blow in vote, ending 6 years in power. Seedcon/Agents France Press M-Getty Images. Tony Abbott, Centre, the leader of Australia's Liberal National Coalition, celebrated his victory in Saturday with his family in Sydney. By Matt Siegel. Published, September 6, 2013. Sydney, Australia. Voters on Saturday delivered a stinging defeat to the Labor Party, led by Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, bringing an end to 6 tumultuous years of leadership and ushering into power a strong Conservative Liberal National Coalition. Connect with us on Twitter. Follow @NYTIMESWORLD for international breaking news and headlines. Twitter list, reporters and editors. The opposition leader, Tony Abbott, who made his name as a relentless critic of the policies of Mr. Rudd and his predecessor, Julia Gillard, is now in line to become Australia's 27th Prime Minister, when he is sworn in next week by Governor-General Quentin Bryce. Mr. Rudd, who served as Prime Minister from 2007 to 2010, returned to leadership in June after a nearly 2-year campaign by his supporters culminated in a party coup that ousted Ms. Gillard, the first woman to be Australia's Prime Minister. But the Labor Party, which abandoned Ms. Gillard in the hopes of averting a landslide loss, was ultimately unable to shake the impression that it was more focused on personal feuds than pressing issues like the slowing of Australia's mining-driven economy and the record number of asylum seekers trying to reach the country in dangerous and overcrowded boats. Mr. Rudd conceded defeat less than 4 hours after polls closed in Australia's East Coast, and a mere half-hour after polls closed in the West Coast. By then, it was apparent that Labour was headed for a loss. I know that Labour hearts are heavy across the nation tonight, and as your Prime Minister, and as your parliamentary leader of the great Australian Labor Party, I accept responsibility, Mr. Rudd, teary-eyed and flanked on stage by his wife, Therese Rain, said in his concession speech. I gave it my all, but it was not enough for us to win. Mr. Rudd, who retained his seat in Queensland State, added that he would not seek the Labor Party leadership in the new Parliament. I have been honoured to serve as your Prime Minister and as your party's leader, Mr. Rudd said. But there comes a time when you know you've given it your all and a time for the party to further renew its leadership for the future. For me, that time is now. The Australian Electoral Commission reported that Labor had captured 54 seats in the next Parliament compared with 91 seats for the coalition, with 94.5% of votes counted, a major swing in the 150-seat lower house. The two parties are separated by a razor-thin margin in the current Parliament, with Labor holding 72 seats against the coalition's 73 seats. Mr. Abbott, a former Roman Catholic seminarian and Rhodes Scholar, declared Australia open for business again in a victory speech to jubilant supporters at a Sydney hotel. I now look forward to forming a government that is competent, that is trustworthy and which purposefully and steadfastly and methodically sets about delivering on our commitments to you, the Australian people, Mr. Abbott said. But in one last thinly veiled swipe at the internal strife that had proved so disastrous for the Labor Party, he pledged to listen more closely to the voice of the people in leadership questions. It is the people of Australia who determine the government and the prime ministership of this country, and you will punish anyone who takes you for